All right, let's talk about focus, but not just trying to focus. Today, we're actually going to hack it. We're going to look at the science of getting into that deep, productive zone pretty much whenever you want.
Seriously, what if you could tap into a state of productivity so intense it almost feels like a superpower? A zone where you're not just working, you're flying, where time disappears and your brain is just on fire. That's the goal today, to give you the exact blueprint for that state of mind.
So how do we actually get there? Well, first, we've got to understand what focus even is. And here's the secret. It's not some magic you have to wait for. It's a very real, very specific chemical state happening inside your brain.
And that's the absolute key. Focus isn't about willpower. It's not about just gritting your teeth and trying harder. It's about engineering the perfect internal environment for your brain, a neurochemical zone where distractions literally can't get in. It's a system, and like any system, you can learn to control it.
Think of it like a cocktail for your brain. You've got 4 key ingredients. Dopamine, that's your drive, the get up and go. Norepinephrine is what makes you feel sharp and alert. Acetylcholine, that's the laser pointer, helping you zero in on one thing. And serotonin keeps your mood stable, which is the foundation for everything else. And when you get that chemical balance just right, boom, you enter what scientists call the flow state. This is the holy grail, people. We're talking about a state where you can learn up to 5 times faster and remember twice as much. This is the ultimate prize we're aiming for. But it's not always that easy, right? There's a constant war being waged for our attention. To win, you first have to know your enemy. And the enemy is your brain's own default setting.
And this is it, mind wandering. It's just where your brain goes when it's idle. It's not a flaw in your system, it's literally the factory default. So our job isn't to get rid of it completely, but to build the mental muscle to pull our attention right back when we need to.
And this brings up a really cool distinction. See, there are 2 types of effort going on. There's concentration effort, that's the overall energy you're putting into the task, but then there's focus back effort. That's the specific little burst of energy it takes to yank your mind back when it drifts. Building that muscle is the secret weapon. Okay, enough theory. Let's get tactical. We are going to engineer your focus using 4 simple science-backed laws. Think of this as the how-to guide for building your own personal focus fortress. Law number 1 is all about setting the stage. You have to eliminate the hidden enemies of your focus. This is about playing defense before you even start. You've got to plug all those little things that quietly drain your mental battery, these cognitive leaks. Here are 3 huge ones. First, your phone. It's a weapon of mass distraction. Put it in another room, get a lockbox, do what you gotta do. Second, visual clutter. A messy desk is a messy mind. Clear it off so it's just you and your work. And third, mental clutter. Keep a brain dump page right next to you. Any random thought pops in your head, write it down and get right back to it.
All right, with the enemies gone, it's time for law number 2.
This is where you trigger a focus ritual. Elite athletes and performers, they don't just wait to feel motivated. They have routines that tell their brains, okay, it's go time. You need to build a trigger that tells your brain, hey, it's time to focus, now. Here's a super simple one. For 5 minutes, put on the same focus music, sit in the same spot, do a quick physical movement, like 5 push-ups, just to get your blood flowing. Then count down from 10 and say a verbal cue out loud, like focus mode on. I know, it feels a little weird at first, but trust me, after a week, your brain will just snap into gear automatically.
And that brings us to a really, really important one. Law number 3.
You've got to learn to work with your brain, not against it. Look, your brain is not a computer that can run at 100% all day long. It works in natural cycles of energy, and the real key to sustained focus is to respect those cycles.
It's based on something called ultradian rhythms. Basically, your brain has a natural peak focus wave that lasts about 90 minutes. So, the move is to work in a deep 90-minute block. Then, and this is critical, take a 20-minute real recovery break. And by real, I mean no phone, no email. Go for a walk, stretch, stare at a wall. Let your brain actually recharge.
And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, our 4th law. This is how we stack neurochemical wins. It's all about simple biohacking. Before you even start your work session, you can do tiny things to give your brain's chemistry a little boost and stack the deck in your favor. And these are so easy. Splashing cold water on your face for 30 seconds, that spikes norepinephrine and wakes you right up. Green tea gives you a nice smooth dopamine curve.
Even chewing mint gum or sniffing some rosemary oil have been shown to boost alertness. Just pick one or two to do right before your focus ritual.
Okay, we've gone through the 4 laws. So how do we put it all together into one solid system that you can use every single day? Let's build out the master protocol. Here it is, simple as this. Step 1, before you start, pick your one task, clear your station, and do your 5-minute focus ritual. Step 2, during the session, set a timer for 90 minutes, stick to that one task, and have your brain dump page ready to go. And step 3, after, take that 20-minute real break, just take a second to note the progress you made and give yourself a little reward. That last part is huge for reinforcing that dopamine loop.
Because at the end of the day, deep focus isn't a switch you just flip. It's a system you build, one brick at a time. So the real question isn't whether you can do it, it's about where you'll start. Looking at all this, what's the very first brick you're going to lay down today?